Welcome to Life is for Living. I'm Kylee Buckley, and I'm joined with David J Riddell from the School of Living Wisdom in Nelson. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, David, tonight we've had a chat about investigating insanity. How and where? Can you talk to us about it? And I believe you have a poem that you wrote when you yourself experienced insanity.
Yes, I'm composing a poem that is a tool both for training counsellors and caregivers who are working with adolescents and adults who have dropped into a neurosis, even psychosis, even insanity. And I guess I'm writing it from a unique perspective, both as an adolescent myself in the days when I lost connection with reality and completely shut down. People were worried about me, and I was worried about myself as I dropped into the depths of despair. But I'm also writing it as a therapist now who regularly works with people in emotional disturbance, showing them the way through and the way out of this terrible place.
Mm.
It has a positive ending, but it's going to take you into some pretty dark places. And so I guess I'm inviting our audience to enter a world that not too many want to enter, dare to enter, because these are where the so-called hopeless cases reside. And these are the people, even today, who are in psych units looking for some kind of breakthrough and often unable to find it. It also considers the futility of the modern counseling technique and strategies. But we're going to consider a lot of things in this poem. We're even going to consider the difficulty of medication and the problem of having patients become drunk on prescription drugs. We've got a lot to consider. So let's get started. I have divided this poem up into three parts. Part one, a child shuts down. Part two, taken into care. And part three, the breakthrough. So if you remember, we're going to be in one of those parts as we go through. You ready for that? You might want to put your seatbelt on.
Let's go.
Part one, a child shuts down. And remember, I'm speaking not just as a counseling training technician, but also as a one-time consumer of mental health
Mm.
services. A long time ago, I will add.
Mhm.
A child shuts down part one. Something's missing, something's wrong. Now all my friends have been and gone. It's okay for them, they were raised with love. All I ever got was a push and a shove. The kids at school withdraw from me. It seems I'm just not one of us, you see. Especially because, when men were unjust, this kid kicked up such a fuss. So I wallowed in doom and I dwelt on gloom, and my hiding place became a dingy room. The insanity, the depravity, wherever will it end? The crazy ways my mind has found, which one should be my friend? Keep left, they said, you're crossing the line, you're beginning to grow an insane mind. Self-hatred now in manifestation, this pitiful boy in his isolation. This place where resilience was now castrated, all optimism soon negated. Nowhere to hide, women's love overrated, and where I lived, truth rarely ever stated. Reality now in total eclipse, surrendering to delusion. And I withdraw to dark seclusion. Desperation fuels my inner extremes. Is it all pointless? 'Cause that's how it seems. Resilience has been found entirely lacking, and now all hope has been sent packing. And in the wake of molestation comes a constant speculation. Who to trust and who to fear, a confusing situation. Now I poke and now I pry, and sometimes I just sit and cry, ranting and raving, is that really me? I'm desperate now, why can't you see? Part 2, taken into care. In this bizarre and frustrating life, who cares enough to observe my strife? Is my very own mind now considering death? The final hope, is it overdosing on meth? Or chlorpromazine, the miracle cure? I just became a zombie. Fluoxetine, when on the edge, damn near pushed me off the ledge. Diazepam made life bearable, couldn't think straight, felt like a fool. Running in the morning, up at first light, now I had a goal in sight. Endorphins gave me a lift, it's true, but didn't quite last past 2:30. Serotonin, pure emotional pain, that nearly drove me quite insane. Reflective counselling, what could they do? Fudging and parroting must be so hard for you. No one to love me, nowhere to hide, no one in whom I could deeply confide. Many polite, some quite kind, but it was clear they thought I'd lost my mind. Ruminating, castigating, sulking, even ranting, and sometimes, just for the doctor's sake, I took to simply acting. All my hopeful moments drowned again in floods of pessimism. Looking out, it seems to me, from inside a perverse prism. Worst case scenarios surround me now, my mind no longer selective. Personal perspective and urgent need of a counsellor's firm corrective. Part 3, breakthrough. It's got to stop, it's got to yield. I cannot live without some heavenly shield. These ways of coping, not one is my friend. And now they meet up to plot my end. In total ignorance of the sacred lines, the serpent now has me fully entwined. Out for a walk in the darkened rain, my thoughts all racing like a runaway train. I really have to change my mind, I see. J. Adams made this clear to me. It came to me in just a minute. But how does one remake a bed if one still lies within it? What tortured paths did I go down when vanity's values got me all turned around? Was it father, mother, was it friend or brother who convinced me falsely that I am like no other? Those vain imaginings I may no longer do. I must learn to dwell on what's truly true. Memories that shame me, a mind that condemns. Time the self-judgments all came to an end. 'Cause failure isn't fatal, it's actually a friend. Oh, fear of failure, you've always been a passenger. But now I see your true face, you're really just a messenger. So will I ever succeed? Time will surely tell. But I know now that if a thing's worth doing, not one beginner has ever done it well. My reality now needs a whole new creator, for I myself have been my chief litigator. So if Jesus loves me, and this I can know, because the Bible tells me so, then it's true, so true, that I'm not doomed to banishment, just because I'm under now entirely new management.
Oh, it's
So
fantastic, David.
there's a journey for you, Kylie. There's a journey that I hope you never take. Um, I just sought to take people with me through that journey and to show them what despair was caused by and what despair looks like. The death of optimism is a very dangerous place in which to live. And
Mm-hmm.
if you combine it with rejection, injustice, despair, and the defense mechanisms that I concocted, you've got a really dangerous piece. So
Mm. It kills the soul, doesn't it?
yes, it does. That's exactly what it does. And you get to the point where you're so entwined and sick thinking you don't know the difference.
Mm.
So tell me, do you dare to give your responses to that reflection, or would you rather keep that for another day?
Oh, I think it's absolutely beautifully written. And I think, I mean, I can see myself at moments of my life where I could have reflected.
Hmm.
And especially, I've got a dear brother who's been in alcohol and drug addiction for years. Love him dearly. But, same sort of thing, really, isn't it? I think when
It's
you
like a
lose
trap with
hope,
no exit. It's like a trap with no exit, isn't it?
yeah, but there is an exit. You
There
just got
is.
to change your
Yeah.
mind. And that's something that you taught me, is you become what you think. And I've heard that all my life. And it's in the Bible, as a man thinketh, so he is. But it is very, very true. And I don't think we are aware, all of us, how we speak to ourselves cognitively and not cognitively.
Yes, I like that line. Those vain imaginings I may no longer do. I must learn to dwell on what's truly true.
That's right. And we create that which we think.
Well, whatever gets your attention is going to get you. And that's a scary thought, but it's also a thought full of promise. It means that whatever I
Mm.
dwell on is going to produce my attitude, my moods, my emotions. So I need to take more care on what I dwell on.
That's very true. Yes, because we are the makers of our destiny. No one else.
And certainly the creators of our own character, eh?
Well, that's true.
I
Absolutely.
think in some regards it's fair to say that my character is becoming my destiny. But
Very
my
true.
character is just the result of what I've been dwelling on, what I've been believing, and what I've been feeding on. And there wasn't much truth in my community as a child.
Yes, yes. And, you may have had a pretty rough upbringing for whatever reason, but, your life's your own when you're an adult. Create it to be whatever you want it to be.
But you've got to find your way out of the lies of that nesting environment. If you, for example, conclude that your survival is entirely up to you because of abandonment, or if you decide that keeping silent is the best way to keep safe, or
Mm,
if you decide that your emotions would never lie to you and they deserve total loyalty, then you're going in the wrong direction in every case.
mm.
And I'm the guy that spends all day, every day, helping point people back into the right paths, the paths of life, the Bible calls them, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does, definitely. Well,
So I wrote that to try and pull it together and also to help me make sense. I have to be honest here, I'm still making sense of my own formative years and why I had to go through what I went through to get where I am today and to be who I am today.
mm, yeah, well, it's about healing, isn't it? And it's about not sweeping it under the carpet, and because many go through it, you know.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, I'm sure that everybody who heard that poem will resonate with something in it because,
yeah.
fantasy is common to us all, neurosis is common to us all, even delusion is common to us all.
What is neurosis?
Well, it's the evidence that somebody has not adjusted to reality properly. They're not adjusting to reality. They're relying on survival kits and defense mechanisms, uh, uh, tricks and gaslighting and so forth, just to try and survive reality.
Right, I see. So they don't see
And
things clearly.
And if it's left to its own devices, they're going to drop into psychosis. And if that isn't pulled up, they're going to end up in insanity.
Okay, so the next step is psychosis. And what's that?
Well, it's when feelings eclipse reality, perception eclipses reality. You're marching to the sound of a drum that nobody else can hear.
I see. Right.
And that puts you out of step with your wife, your husband, your children, your parents, puts you out of step with everybody, to the point where, you can't keep a job or you can't keep people's trust and respect.
Right. Right. Okay.
So
Wow.
when people say to you, get real, they're actually giving you a very sound piece of therapeutic advice. The trouble is they never tell you how to do it. So
Mhm.
don't pay them for that advice, will you?
Excellent. Well, thank you, David. That is a very poignant poem. I'm going to be playing this back myself, actually, and listening to
Well,
it. And beautifully written.
well, if anybody wants a copy of it, just have to email me, office@livingwisdom.co.nz, and we'll happily flick you back a copy of it.
Mm.
Uh, just email office@livingwisdom.co.nz and ask for the insanity poem. My wife will know what you're talking about.
Tell me though, it was reflective from when you were a little boy. How many people actually go into psychosis and insanity as an adult because of trauma in adulthood? I assume trauma sets people off down this path.
Usually that's true, but it can be onset at any age. From the traumatized countries, traumatized by war and famine and so forth, at quite a serious degree of the childhood population are already psychotic.
Mm.
And how the adults are coping in places like Gaza, etc., without becoming psychotic, I really don't know. But at the times when I've been called in to help in those situations, I have to find key reassurances to stabilize people's minds and to hold them in reality when they'd much rather escape it.
Well, I think I understand that because escaping it, you're better off living in a reality than living in the reality. I mean, of you could die tomorrow or today, and having to deal with that with all the starvation and the bombs, and then getting shot, getting food.
Well, we call it opting out. I mean, there's a dozen different ways to opt out. You can end up becoming device addicted and spend all day on the screen. You can end up fascinated by a hobby or an interest that takes you out of reality or out of social situations. You can end up addicted to prescription drugs or illegal drugs. You can end up becoming a workaholic, just living to make a dollar. These are all what I would call faulty adjustments, and they're all opting out in some degree.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right, well, I hope that
Thank you.
proves useful, if
Well,
not
indeed.
entertaining, at least perhaps enlightening.
Yeah. It was
Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to have to cut this.